going to talk about actual fat loss versus water weight loss today. What's the difference and why is this important to understand the difference overall when you are trying to have a result in one area or the other with your health? So I'm Dr. Beth Westie, women's health and hormone expert. I'm author of the books, The Female Fat Solution and The Female Menopause Solution. These are on Amazon. I'm also host of the podcast, The Female Health Solution. You can subscribe to that as well as subscribe to my YouTube channel. So when we talk about this stuff, because we talk about stuff related to female health all the time, that's my jam, I want to kind of highlight overall that there is a big difference in weight loss and what type of weight you're losing. When you're looking at stepping on the scale, that number on the scale tells you information on everything collective in your body. And in fact, for the female body, your weight should change throughout the month if you have a cycle because your blood volume will be different, how your body hydrates will be different, right? Your uterus changes in size. So it's natural that you would have anywhere from a 5-pound to a 10-pound fluctuation in your weight throughout the month. That's normal. Now, what is that weight fluctuation though? What is that, right? Oftentimes people refer to that as being water weight because it's not necessarily related to the adipose tissue on your body. When people talk about weight, you're looking at, okay, that number on the scale is going to make up your bones, right? Your bone tissue, right? All the tissues, bone tissue. If you are weightlifting, things like that, you want to have more dense bones, right? When people say big boned, that's not what they're talking about here either, but you want to have strong, healthy bones. Your skeletal muscle, if you eat protein, lift weights, all those things, it will actually create more lean muscle, which is what we want for your overall metabolism. But that muscle weighs more than fat? Yes. The same area of muscle versus fat, muscle will be heavier because the dense tissue. So you'll have bone tissue, muscle tissue, other fluid in your body, right? Like your blood, your lymph, everything else. And lymph, most of the time people are familiar with this. If you say you eat a lot of salt or something like that and you wake up and you feel puffy, you're like, ooh, my ring is tight on me. My hands are puffy. My face is puffy. You can feel puffier at different times of the month. That's your body retaining more fluid or water weight, and that's done in your lymphatic system. Then we are looking at adipose tissue, fat tissue, and fat tissue is dynamic. Your fat cells are reactive to other things. Now, when we look at water weight versus fat weight, adipose tissue, it's just a matter of understanding the difference in what's going on. If you go on a crash diet or lose weight quickly, that is going to be more water weight and even can be muscle tissue. But overall, if you're looking at decreasing water weight, it's going to be fast. Like if you do a fasting day or something and you're like, oh my gosh, I lost 3 pounds because I restricted eating for a day. Did you actually lose a lot of fat that day? No, majority of that is water weight because then when you eat normally the next day, you gain it back. That's your water regulating, the fluids in your body regulating. If we're talking about actual fat loss, that process is, of course, especially for the female body, a lot slower. When people talk about, oh, healthy weight loss is 1 pound a week, that's not even the case necessarily for the female body. 1 pound a week is a consistent thing for the male body. The female body, our metabolism does change throughout the month, which I'll talk about in a different video. So again, make sure you're subscribed. But that actually has an impact on when your body would be more prone to have a little bit more fat loss with using metabolism tactics. The biggest thing overall with water weight and fat weight and everything else and looking at shifting and changing your body composition is understanding if your body is ready for that. One of the biggest things that I see for the female body is that gals will try all this weight loss stuff. I'm intermittent fasting, I'm doing keto, I'm doing all this stuff, I'm exercising a ton and I'm not losing weight. That tells me that your metabolism is actually not ready to work for you. You are trying all these things, you are diving into all these things, but it's not working, not because you're doing it wrong, but because your body is not ready. So that is why we do a Dutch test. That is why we dive into what your hormones are doing, look at your cortisol levels, look at nutrient levels, and see if something is off there. We want to address it so that your body can start to lose weight naturally. I just chatted with somebody recently last week, and we were talking about her results, and she was like, this is just crazy. She goes, I haven't stepped on the scale in a couple of months because I didn't want to know. I got so frustrated and fed up with any weight loss I would have. I would lose it really quickly, gain it back really quickly, right? So I'd start all over again, right? That's not real fat loss. That's just the water weight changing, right? And so when we went over her Dutch test and got her started on her protocol and everything and started working together, she said she started noticing a big difference right away in her energy, in her sleep, but she's like, yeah, the scale hasn't changed. And I was like, yeah, it's not going to for a while. So she just stopped weighing herself, just was like, I'm going to take a break from it. I'm not going to do it, whatever. And then she just weighed herself recently and she was like, I don't know if there's going to be a change. I'm not sure. I feel really good, so I'm excited about that still. And she's like, oh my gosh, I lost 6 pounds. How? Whoa. I didn't even realize. And I was like, this is the difference of in having actual body composition change, because you're not bouncing up and down. You're not trying to manipulate things just to have the number on the scale say something specific, right? We want to have actual metabolic change. That change happens slower, but it's more lasting, especially when we're working with where your body is at to begin with, which is what we do with a Dutch test. So if you have not had a Dutch test, if you have not dove into what your hormones are saying about your body, about your health, about your metabolism, go in the show notes here, go below this video, click that link, get a Dutch test. It gets sent right to your house. We go over your results and then talk about the next best steps for you from there. So that's what I got for you guys today. Thank you for tuning in. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments below, and I will see you later.